All right, everyone. Thanks for your patience. We are ready to go live. It's me, Sal, aka the Dark Cloak, aka Sal, and with me today for a special event, we've got Spiridon and Justin. We're going to be talking about Firestarter Community Magazine. What's up, guys? Now everyone can see our beautiful faces. All right, so for those of you guys who don't know what Firestarter Community Magazine, it's a new web magazine, but it's also a print magazine that's been recently launched by Spiridon and company. So let's just launch in. How can you how do you introduce people to Firestarter, Spiridon? What's your pitch? Your
events. It also works like an archive for the speakers, knowledge that you usually see at the events, but some people actually don't, and it's just sad that it's just gone at some point because they usually don't repeat it the next year. So I'm collecting all this and putting it into the magazine. So it is educational and also trying to build a tighter knot around the community. That's a beautiful chin.
Yeah, sorry, I bent my computer.
Cool.
Well, that's cool.
That was the pitch, basically.
Yeah, man.
All right, goodbye, everybody. No.
Yes. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Time to get a smoothie.
Time to get a smoothie.
Yeah, so I mean that's like the general gist of it. But I really don't know you that well. So what's going on with you prior to Firestarter? I know you spent some time in publishing, right? And maybe graphic design. All right. So is that your forte?
I'm the classic graphic designer that tried to go into illustrating and at some point said, "Nah." But I still like the general topic. I like art, and just decided to combine what I can do and what I do for a job with what I love, which is art. So with Evan, when I started doing the book with him, I decided to put my focus on art books, and the magazine was something that was spooking in my mind for a long time, because I knew the events from the graphic design events, like the Typo, for example, in Berlin, and all the others, were essential for bringing people together. But since the design community is a bit different from the artists, because I might offend someone, but I don't really care. It's quite elitary in that regard. Everything is about art direction and getting awards and all that crap. What I liked about the artist community was more that people like to help each other. Of course, there's drama, but it's just a contrast. So,
Sure.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's the book.
Yeah,
Showing
that's
off
a nice
the wares.
I literally
That's a
just
nice book,
opened
yeah.
it. I just opened it. I haven't had a chance to open it. Oh, fuck.
So,
Yeah, I literally just took it out of the box. See, look, there's a label. Just took it out of the box.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Nice.
hope you like it.
Oh, I will.
So,
Yeah,
The
that's
thing is-
bad, Sal. That means it's just been sitting there for how long?
A couple of months. Yeah.
Shame on you.
That's how busy I've been. I just haven't been able to. I have 4 other pieces of mail for from Kickstarter shit and art books and stuff that I've ordered that I just haven't had the time to get into.
well, it's just money, whatever.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to just open it in a rush and just flip through it and then get back to work. I want to have time to sit and enjoy it. What's that?
You want to savor the goods.
Yeah, actually, I was just waiting for this moment so that as Spiridon's talking about it, I could just bust it out, rip it open, and go, ah! It's fresh out of the box, the plug.
But that was it. The idea for Firestarter was there because of the graphic design stuff. I mean, I thought that it would totally make sense to create something for people that they think that has value and not just another website. So since I'm a print designer and not a web designer, it was first it was the magazine, print, and then came the idea to build a platform around everything. And it works quite well. I really can't complain.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the layout. I just in terms of like speaking design, I like the layout, and because I understand that with something like what you're doing, it's covering a lot of bases, and organization is key. So, like I've been to similar sort of things, and there's so much, and there's no clear navigation as to what's going on. So I really like just the clean navigation, what's going on with the site, and what I thought was extra special was the map. Now I know that it's not fully fleshed out, but the map feature is really cool, and I imagine that eventually it'll develop into cities, right? So like you could click USA and go, oh well, let's see what's happening in LA. Let's see what's happening in Austin. Like what's happening, right?
I hope at some point it will get to that, so that people can. Yeah, it was. I didn't want to use the Google Maps thing.
Sure.
Because it's just so overused. Because it would be just like this red stuff everywhere, and people would be, I don't care. So the point of the map, I mean, I like that you pointed this one out, because the map is just a visualization how small the community actually is. And, in that regard, so you see like, oh yeah, okay, we have something there and there and there, and I can zoom in, and only when you zoom in you see, I mean, how big the network actually is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if that made sense.
Like, no, I mean, like you're familiar with the website Game Dev Map?
No.
Are you familiar with that site, Game Dev Map? It's a website dedicated to locating and organizing game studios. And you can go by city, and it like filters out like, you know, who's a producer, who's a publisher, who does like mobile stuff, and so on. It breaks down. And when I saw this, your map, it kind of reminded me of that. And I was like, seeing how your map could evolve into that, but instead of showing game studios, it would show, you know, events and things like that, and say like, oh, this is where events usually happen, and here and here and here and here.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Okay.
People might like be like, holy crap, you know, I live in France and didn't realize that, you know, this is happening like every winter, and because of Firestarter, now I know. And I thought I was like so disconnected because I'm in this little town and it's only a 5-hour drive, you know, or whatever.
You probably don't realize, but when I tell you, you will realize that I have, the most times when people speak with me about events and ask me about something, and are like, yeah, well, there's this thing there, like a few countries away. I would never have been to any event and whatever, and I'm like, dude, you're from Paris. Why don't you go into the event in your city? What event?
What event?
Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is cool. Like, you know, I like I like the potential that is showing itself with this this Firestarter. It's very cool.
One of the questions I have about, kind of related to the mapping situation, is: are you guys going to be collating contests and things like that are going on as well? Not just in the online community, but also just contests in general, like any publication contests or anything like that?
It's in the works.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's a big need for that. That's
No, I was just going to say, got a lot to cover. So, yeah. I imagine there's a lot of things in the works.
That's been something that's been coming up a lot recently. People were asking us in the Anvil if we were going to be doing that, but I mean, it's kind of hard to find that information. I know in the academic industry, in the art schools and stuff like that, they have a mailing list that tells you about all the gallery submissions and events and things like that are going on. And I've seen the list; it's really great, but there doesn't seem to be a way to publicly access that information in one place unless you know about it.
I'm trying to filter as good as possible with all the categories that I'm putting up. I'm trying to put events in there, like exhibitions, because people sometimes just like to look at art and not people. Sometimes it's about. I'm also developing this a little better made up list with someone who wants to take care of it, about putting up new Kickstarters that are relevant for the artist community.
So that's a great idea.
Not just art books, but everything. like new pens or whatever, and stuff like
yeah,
your
just
tattoo,
anything
for example.
related. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's this thing because since it's crowdfunding, it's also community stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so the website and the whole concept of Firestarter is not limited to anything, but still remains a community effort. What I don't want to do, because at some point you got to draw a line, because you don't want to become something some kind of weird project that does everything.
Right.
You got to draw the line and be like, okay, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So what I don't do is tutorials, which already is like this much from other platforms, but they cover it. It's okay. They do this very good. I don't want to deal with it. I don't know anything about it because I'm not an illustrator or an artist. Yeah?
And like YouTube has that covered. Other publications has that covered. Like it's just it would be, you wouldn't be adding value by going down that.
The problem with tutorials, the main problem with tutorials for me is that they are at some point outdated. When I'm making this magazine and have half content or even more than half content is knowledge, and the other one is the events. The event part at some point will be maybe obsolete because the event might not be there. But the other part is always interesting to look at because it's mostly anecdotes about life, biography stuff, how to approach things, mindset, everything, mindfulness.
Yeah.
So it will always be relevant. It will always be, people be like, okay, I'm going to download number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In I don't know how many years I'm going to be doing this, but it will always be relevant and will always have value because there will always be new artists telling you a new approach with everything, and there will always be stuff like VR coming up right now and changing the entire industry.
Yeah.
So this is where sorting and filtering is the most important part, and this is actually the kind of stuff that makes this the most work. Yeah, like you said, organizing things, doing lists. I have so many lists.
Imagine your the amount of research that you put in has to be quite high. To gather this stuff. Are you handling that brunt on your own, or do you have people that you are kind of delegating some of that to?
It's a good mix of both, because at some point, for example, you have this game dev map, and I have a friend. Her name is Simona, and she lived in Munich before, and I think now she's in Sweden. Yeah, right. There's an article about her in the magazine, and she is very much in this game development scene because she does indie games. And I have another friend who is very much into conventions, because I'm trying to put conventions in there that are relevant for artists too, because sometimes they have artist alleys. And for example, America is a country that is full of conventions, has many conventions,
like year round.
But you don't have any festivals.
Right.
No, we're not about the party.
That's not the party. It's the networking part that is interesting. What you have is something where you go from booth to booth, maybe spend money, maybe not, and there is another booth where there's a workshop. Yeah. But you don't have something like everybody sits together in a room, like a huge thing, watches something, then they get out and then they talk about what they saw. You know, like a movie, for example, that you look with a friend. And everything.
I think the closest thing to that is things like GDC and a LuxCon. From my own personal experience, like there is a little bit of that, but it's still very scattered.
Have you been to any event like that in Europe so far?
I have not.
Because so far, what I've been hearing from people, there is nothing in the US that really matches them.
No. I mean, I've been to art festivals in Italy. Granted, it was more like contemporary fine art, but still, I understand the vibe you're talking about. Like, it's really not about the art that you're showing. It's really not about people selling art. It's just more about people getting together and sharing an experience.
Yeah.
And just having a good time, and like it's like soft networking. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't there like handing out cards, you know what I mean? It's just like bonding, and then they share their cards because they bond.
It's both.
Yeah.
It always depends on the people, because you could be sitting. You always see these people at events like this who are sitting at that table and are just sketching.
Yeah.
Usually the guy who's just dragging them and be like, you can do that shit at home. You have Moby Franke sitting there, with the guitar, sit there and listen to the music, start a conversation. do something. Yeah,
Sure.
it's okay to sketch at some point. You got to calm down and whatever. But if you pay the money to just sit there and sketch, then maybe you do something wrong.
You just do it on the bus.
Which is always fun.
Yeah.
Especially those people who like fall asleep. Those are great models.
But it's totally usual because you don't. This is the total. I mean, this is the avatar of FOMO. Yeah, they have this extreme fear of missing out, and they just don't want to go to sleep because they might miss something, and they just stay awake the whole night, and then the next day, where there were talks they wanted to see and everything, they just miss them because of that. Right. And that is the spirit of these events.
Right. So Firestarter is like the cure for FOMO.
Pardon?
I said so. Firestarter is the cure for FOMO.
Oh.
I hope so at some point because I mean I can't put everything in there. I mean it's like
no, but like so I'm wondering like let's say I go to let's say I go to that one in Canada. What's that one called? Edge Control. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm there and I see a fantastic lecture on something, and I record it. Okay. Would I then be able to like get in contact with you and say, hey, Spiridon, I just recorded this awesome lecture. You know, would I be able to have other people get access to it through Firestarter or something like that? Like, let's say it was like well made, had a nice edit to it or whatever. Is that something that you guys would be able to do?
That's pretty much bootlegging.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it might be like I don't know if it was like let's say it wasn't a problem on their end. You know what I mean? Because if they're charging money for the okay.
But yes, most of the people
I guess I was talking about illegal activity.
Justin's gonna be the guy in the back with a trench coat, sitting there like this.
Yes. Yeah. It'll just have I'll be holding a package to be put in the mail with a little hole in it, just holding it weirdly like this.
Yeah, you should do that. You should probably look like me and do that, and nobody's gonna call the cops.
Oh, I'll hide the
just
camera.
Wear a bolo tie. Just wear a bolo tie with a little camera in it.
Yes,
all right. This is not advice for what you should do at conventions. Okay. Do not listen to this part of the talk.
Okay, so you do not condone illegal activity through Firestarter. That's good.
Not even starting fires.
You shouldn't forget that there are many people who organize events and then sell afterwards the lectures in video format.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
So if you talk, if you can record it for yourself, I guess. I mean,
right.
I'm not endorsing it, but you can record it. But if you would afterwards talk with the organizers and stuff, and they would be, I don't care.
Right. Or maybe if you've got a relationship with them, you know what I mean? Like down the road.
I do. Yeah. I mean, sure. we all work together at some point, which is the best part of it.
Which segues into a question, just really quick. What about like the legal aspects of information? Because like I know that is like a huge gap for many people in this industry, especially those who are just starting out, where like they don't know like anything about contracts or like legal stuff or anything like that. Like how to help them be more of a businessman or businesswoman. You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge gap I've noticed, like with the people that Sal and I talk to, they're just like getting in trouble or they don't know what they're doing and that sort of thing. It's
Sadly,
gap.
in most cases, they don't want to inform themselves the way that people did that actually know this stuff, which is opening a book and doing research.
Right.
This is a huge problem. No, really, it's like that. I don't know what's the last year at the IFCC. There were people on stage that could actually tell you a lot of stuff, but they got questions like they go into the direction of how to do an invoice. You know, like,
ouch.
What about taxes? You know, there were questions like that, and everybody was like, "Yeah, what about taxes?"
Google is your friend.
That's your question. Yeah, you got your hero on stage there.
Right.
So the legal aspect of everything is that I'm talking with the people who actually gathered that knowledge in the first place. So the authors are always the speakers themselves.
Right.
There is no legal issue.
Yeah.
If they don't want to write it, they don't. If the person from the festival has a problem with that lecture,
I was referring more to as like a resource on Firestarter. Like, so let's say that guy that we met. Sal, who was that guy that we met? That lawyer dude with the
Seth.
long hair.
Seth Polanski.
Seth, yeah. Yeah, like he works with artists. He's a lawyer. He helps with like contracts and all, or trouble that happens,
Copyright.
And like I was just thinking, like, yeah, copyright laws and things of that nature. So I'm thinking, like, oh, that'd be neat, like if he like wrote an article or something like that, and like kind of like informing people, like, hey, this is some, fun stuff that you should know. But anyways, that just kind of popped into my head. And
I don't exactly know why you're bringing the legal stuff up in the end. So I mean, it's pretty much covered, right? I mean, in every regard, if someone wants to share the knowledge, they do it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
well, how about the submitting?
I give authors accounts to people who want to share something. I don't really care about how long you've been doing this, because an epiphany doesn't really come only to those people who are working for a very long time in the industry.
Right.
But of course, when you realize something about something else, like a topic that everybody knows about, and you're like, dude, I just realized that, then the best part is that I see the articles as a draft and I read them first and then put them in public. So that one is covered.
Yeah. So are you editing all the things? Like, so when someone writes an article, you have them edit, or just straight in and straight out? All right.
I'm just looking through it. The author is named. If the author wants to make himself look really bad through all the typography mistakes and whatever, then I'm giving him a platform to do that.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what am I supposed to do? Like start reading all the stuff that I'm putting on the website? Come on.
We wouldn't be having this conversation today because you'd still be reading all the articles from the last batch.
Yeah.
It's if I would at some point have someone to take care of editing all that stuff, that would increase, of course, the quality of everything. But since this is a community project and everything is free, whoever is bitching about anything, I'm gonna be like, yeah, then don't read it.
Right. Yeah. Let's just move on.
So
I hear that.
Somebody wants to know. Matt Kaminsky is asking about your badass poster.
This one?
I think so. Yeah.
What, the Unknown Pleasures?
Yeah. What is that?
Oh yeah, it's Joy Division. I like Joy Division. I hear mostly 80s music because I don't understand music from today.
What is that? What is the image though? It reminds me of like those like shawarma things, with the tall cylinder of meat with all like the slices in it after a day.
Thanks for that. Now I'm hungry.
Go get yourself some shawarma afterwards.
I knew what it was.
Vegetarian.
I knew what it was 10 years ago, but I actually forgot because my brother told me. There are people online right now who can check it for us, and we can keep talking.
Fantastic! That's what's great
so
about
you got an
this.
assignment. Find out what this is there. What I'm pointing there.
Yeah.
What is this?
Do it.
There you go, guys.
All right. So just real quick, back onto submissions. So if somebody wanted to, like, let's say either in, say they had information about a festival, or they wanted to write an article, or they wanted to even submit artwork, how would they go about doing that?
I don't do artwork.
You don't show any artwork.
No. You go to other pages for that, like ArtStation and whatever.
Oh, right. Maybe not as like a collection or sort of thing, but like a header or something along those lines.
Okay.
So not like spotlighting an artist. I don't mean like that. Like having their visual stuff as part of the entire structure. You know what I mean?
Have you opened a copy of the magazine? Have you looked through it?
I don't have hard copies. No, I have your. Hell, what did I just do?
He's quit. He's run away. No.
Oh no!
Every time, Justin. Every time.
in my magazine, in my magazine, these articles where people have lectures start with a portrait.
Oh, okay.
So you have either an interview or a lecture or whatever you have, and you have at least 2 people working on it. So since everything I can offer to people at this point is exposure, I'm trying to max it out. So you have an artist making a portrait of an artist, and people get to look at beautiful art. And you also have the knowledge that is in the article that the person wrote. And maybe when you have an interview, you have also a third person. So you have a maximum of 3, 4, 5 people, however, I mean, depends on how many people are interviewed, that get their exposure from that. So I talk to people. I have my network. I talk to other people who I know would be up to do a portrait. Some say yes, some say no.
That's cool.
It's really just grinding. It's nothing else. There is no system behind it at this point, and I think there will never be, because since I'm asking people to do something for a community project, I should at least have the decency to ask them personally. So this is how I'm doing it.
Nice.
Well, what's cool about that is that the quality then is dictated by, how and who is supporting it. Just like any other community, like in your neighborhood or whatever. It's like, so if things are good, then it kind of like inspires people who want to get involved to kind of contribute at the same level and quality. Yeah, I like that very much.
Sometimes people are just cool, and it doesn't really matter how good they are, because I also don't really care how. Here's the thing: I usually choose the artist and the contributor that does the article because I think about how the certain artist would make the portrait of that person, and sometimes it just fits. Like the example that I had here, of Stephen Corman, for example. I've met Stephen a few times, and I know Alexander Ignatov. So here you have an image of him, all serious, manly. But I actually know him like that.
Right.
No,
that's really cool. So you have like artists like doing interviewing and fleshing out other artists. I love.
That's
it's
cool.
It's about the
That's
personality
really cool.
of them that comes out through the portrait. It's a bit more than just mashing stuff together and putting it on pages.
Right. And it's also a lot different than having like a traditional writer who isn't fully connected. You're just like part of a magazine, and all they do is just know how to interview people. Like there's not that same connection like what you just showed us.
Right.
It's got a closer connection. Yeah, that's really cool.
Right.
Also, I have this thing. I started with one of the magazines where I'm talking with people who do podcasts or something like what you do, guys. For example, like I have the Beard Bros. You know these guys?
Yeah.
So the Beard Bros did an interview with Evan Melamundsen, and I told him transcribe that stuff, and I put it there so people know about you and him. So, or Gordon Neal, for example, who does also podcasts. Or Craig Gomez from India, who interviewed Richard Bota. It's basically just, like I said in the beginning, it's a network hub. It's not about just my content and everything is just a Firestarter. I'm trying to mold everything a bit together so everybody gets something from it. It would be nice if people would be at some point like, I want to find something out. I'm going to Firestarter. Is there an event? Is there a platform for whatever? And everything is there, like an archive. So it's mostly about filtering. But I still think it's a long wait until we go there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a slow building process like any other community.
Yeah. So
the problem.
Oh, go ahead.
The problem with these things that have to be on a long term is that as soon as people lose interest, these things die.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that happening a lot. in the past.
So,
Sure.
kind of on that note, what's the day in Spiridon's life look like right now, running this magazine? Like, what does it take to run the magazine? You have content coming in from multiple directions, submissions, I'm sure, and then promotion and everything else you're doing. What's it like? What does it take?
I'm just getting up, doing what every hero does. It's like, saving a kitten from a tree.
Yeah.
No, it's totally boring. What is the day? I'm emailing companies and telling them, look, I have a nice magazine. Do you want to represent yourself in it? And sometimes people are seeing the potential in it, like Wacom did right from the start. And thanks, guys. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's sometimes you have these companies that are very interested in it. They see what this could be, and they want to be part of it. And sometimes not.
Yeah,
super cool.
Yeah. It's a hustle. So the rest is writing with people, networking all the time, finding out more about people. Oh, look at this artwork. Oh, someone recommended this guy. I'm gonna write him. This could be something. If you look through my social media, for example, I'm always asking questions. It's something that happens very much now with Facebook being all dorky and asking for interaction and comments all the time, so that people actually know that you exist on there. But I always did that because I always trying to tap on the collective knowledge of the community. Like, do you know any events? Do you know any organizers? Do you know any artists who work traditionally? Do you know any artists who work traditionally who did a very good talk which inspired you? All these things I'm trying to find out and putting them into a context with other stuff. And this is basically editing the magazine and the website at this point. This is all that I'm doing besides the client work.
Right. Besides client work. Yep. And I know one of the things that you've been posting about, both in the Firestarter group and even openly on your own page, about in that vein about, we often see really great posts from people out there in the art community, like well-known artists, as well as artists that nobody knows about, really, making these really big posts, really informational, some really great discussion that takes place, and then it's gone. Like Facebook, because of the nature of Facebook, within a few hours, it's gone. That's it. Is there any effort being made in that regard, in terms of like trying to collect those really big interactions that happen and then maybe putting them into an article form, or even just essentially doing like screenshots and posting them in the magazine with permission, of course?
This week comes a big update on my page where we are trying to set up things like hashtags, where a certain menu point in my page is filtering out something where people are like trying to save their knowledge in a place where it actually belongs. Of course, these things have to be edited because sometimes people just write knowledge. But this vortex that is called Facebook, where people think they will put something there and has impact, but people forget it again, is something that I'm actually fighting against. Because I'm like, you write all these amazing things, and it's not about like binding you to do something. I'm not putting you to a chain. If you have an idea and want to write something, I can give you an author's account for my page, because what you just wrote changed me. I wrote this and I'm like, I'm changing myself right now. This had an impact on myself. Yeah, I'm not the same person I was 5 minutes ago, and you made that with a fucking Facebook post.
Right.
Yeah? So, and there are like a few million people who won't see this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to change that. So there will be a big update with that. Like I don't know how I'm gonna call it. I'm really horrible with names. Like you can see with Firestarter. It's about I don't know, like a wall of knowledge or wisdom. It's something where people will be like, can scroll, but stuff won't be lost. I don't know if I will be like, if people can save it somehow, into a collection for themselves. Like I don't want to forget this. I need this somewhere.
Yeah, print to PDF is your friend, folks.
Sorry, what was that?
Printing a page as a PDF. So you bring up a thread and then you print it as a PDF, and there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
put it on your wall.
I like on the site that you've got a search function. So if like somebody hears about something that they didn't catch right away or whatever, you can just go onto the site and search, and maybe it'll come up. That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also a point that I want people to not only subscribe to the events, because if you subscribe to the events, you get all the updates. You get them via email, because email is the only true God I believe in. And the other thing is that people, yeah, you're laughing. The other thing is that people that really like a certain article, for example, will be in future able to subscribe to the reader. So basically, it's just like following someone on every social network site, or but get notifications for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Justin Adams has left the building. No, I think he's dealing with family stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
okay.
I do have a question from somebody in the chat, and they're asking, is it strictly for artists, or are you going to be dealing with all creatives?
All creatives.
All creatives. There you go. So
what's that?
That's it. Really simple. So what are the?
I might point one thing out.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put every category of everything into a magazine that has a maximum of 200 pages already.
Right.
Like, I mean, this is a fat thing.
Yeah.
And it's really heavy. It's almost a kilo of magazine.
Well, there you go. You could subscribe to the physical version of the magazine and then use it to protect your house, because you could beat somebody to death with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's an excellent weapon.
So you mentioned subscribing to the events newsletter, but let's talk about subscribing to the magazine. How do people subscribe to the magazine? Like, it comes in digital and physical forms, obviously, but how? Like, is there a digital subscription as well that's paid, or how does that all work?
No, it doesn't cost. It's for free.
The printed one as well? Yeah,
the printed one is also free. I mean, you can buy it basically for of course for the shipping costs and the material, but I mean I think it's 13 euros with shipping included.
There you go, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't do this to charge the community. I'm doing this to help them. I want the companies to put an effort into this thing to show that they care for this to the cause.
So you're really sticking to the community magazine aspect of the name. Much like a community-driven newsletter. You know, like in neighborhoods, you have community. So in a way, you're almost building a neighborhood that's encompassing the whole globe of all of us, all of us creatives and artists. And yeah, that's great. That's really awesome. And
and what's surprising is that the quality is not reflective of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oftentimes, like we've all seen like the free zines. You know what I mean? Like in a coffee shop, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you just ran this off on like a copy machine for 10 cents. But it doesn't reflect that. Like, it looks, it's like high quality going on here.
The major point is that you can't approach someone and be like, do you want to write for my magazine, or do you want to work with me? And then tell them, yeah, you can go to my website. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to sell something that is just online. So I'm having this magazine. I can put this in people's hands and be like, I'm doing this. Right. Do you like it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like a huge friggin' business card. And I believe that the effort put into doing this magazine in a printed form is what makes the difference in regards to many other things that are out there that you can download and you can read about.
Right.
I won't criticize anyone who decides to just do a web magazine, but like I said, I'm a print designer. This is what I do. So all the money that I get goes into doing more copies. The more money I get, the more copies will be out there, because they are sent to the events in Europe, actually, and people can grab a copy for free.
There you go, guys.
They are at the events. I'm working with these people together. You can go there, and you will get them at the entrance when you get your badge.
You have people rushing to the subscribe button now.
Have you? I mean, I imagine you probably have, but get in contact with Patrick Wilshire.
Patrick what?
Patrick Wilshire, if that's how you pronounce it. He runs the AlluxCon event here in the States.
In America, I've been talking to Paul Gaburi from ZBrush, and I'm talking to Tina Price from CTNX,
Hmm.
and that's about it.
Oh yeah, you should totally get in touch with.
Yeah, Patrick and his wife run the LuxCon. It happens every October, and it's just a really fantastic event. And it's very much in line with what you're trying to do because it's not like any other event where you go and it's all about fans coming in and spending a bunch of money. It's really an event made for artists and art directors to just get together and feel the community and get away from like digital end of it and say like, oh, just really shake hands, drinks, food, like just, of course it is about also showing your artwork, but
everybody's invited. I'm not kidding. Like really everybody, the small events, the big events, the cons.
I have no doubt in my mind that he would want your magazines at the show just displayed or something like that.
That's a tough one, for example, because I have also events in Mexico and in Canada, like the guys from Edge Control.
Mm-hmm.
Shipping from Europe to the States or to, for example, now to Mexico will cost me 2,700 euros for a pallet of magazines.
A pallet. Wow.
There is no way that I could ever cover that.
Yeah.
I would need a certain,
maybe
either the people from the events are paying the new print that I'm doing overseas, that would work, or they will bring other sponsors that they have and do some sort of deal with me, like you get, I don't know, like we lay out a certain magazine specifically for this event, and which of course I can also not do for free at this point.
Yes.
But we could also do a specific version of that for the U.S. market, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But for that, another community effort would be affordable. People would also have to stick their heads together in the States.
Yes. Well, that's what I mean. Like I would say, just talk to Patrick. I'm without a doubt the Anvil could help out in that respect.
Yeah, got our support.
I think it'd be fairly doable to get, maybe not a pallet. It might be overkill even, but to get like a good armful of issues to this show, because it's like a no-brainer in my opinion.
Yeah, but how many people are there?
The turnout, I mean, it goes over 4 days. Yeah, I mean, it's full. I mean,
it's longer than that if you include the weekend showcase,
1,000,
right?
5 days is,
yeah.
I'd say
I would
like
say
maybe at least
3,
couple thousand.
Couple thousand.
At least.
Yeah, it's
at
like
least.
3. I would say it's like 3.
How do you decide who gets a magazine?
I'm not
Trial
sure.
by combat is usually my go-to.
Yes.
So that's my problem. I don't want to just get an armful over there and have some people be like, "Yeah, I got one," because that's not the point of it. I want everybody to have one.
Yes. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least half of them. I would ship 1,000. Like we have these between 2,000 and 3,000. Okay.
Yes.
So we have these events there. We have these events there in Mexico that are Pixelatl and Creativa, and they are like 2,000 or 2,500 people. And I can only supply them with the money that I have for the prints for half of the people, and that already hurts. So it's pretty fucked up. I would rather have it like here in Europe, where I know this event has 400, 500 people, and everybody's going to get a copy, including the companies that are there, including the speakers that are there. So the companies that are... I'm trying to make this interesting for companies because that's the way they can go to an event without being actually there.
Yeah.
So if they, for some reason, can't be there, it will be at least at all the others. You know?
Right. Having a presence,
Yes, but not only that, also the it's like a list. If you're interested, for example, if you have an event yourself, you could look at these companies that are in the magazine and reach out for support, maybe because maybe they don't support the other events because they're too far away.
Right.
Or the same with speakers. Yeah, the speakers can see, oh, there's another event. Oh, wow, this is just like the neighborhood country. Why am I not going there?
Right.
That's the good part about the network. What you do with the Anvil too.
Right.
People helping out each other.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, I really like that nature of it, and I like your motivations for not just sending a small supply of them to these conventions. In that vein, Matt's asking, you could always talk to the event coordinators about putting them in promo packages. Is that basically
But
what's
they have it.
happening with? Okay, so that's what's happening with like Edge Control in these places.
Promo packages, are these paid?
Like, you know, when you get a kit at registration, when you register for these conferences and conventions, those are usually sending like a program. Like LuxCon does a really lavish program.
Yeah,
You
but it's
usually
for
get an
free, right?
art book and all that stuff. Yeah, well, it's included in the cost of your ticket.
All right, so this is already happening.
Yeah, so that might be another option for them as well. Like they won't necessarily be paying for the magazine, but as part of the package that they offer people for the ticket, maybe they could get a magazine that way.
Yeah, but how to get the magazine there? This is the problem. It's
Right.
not about getting it to the
Yes.
people. I don't know how to get 2,000 magazines to the States and not pay a shitload of money for it. That's the
Right,
problem.
right. They would have to
That
pay
is
it.
the problem.
And I'm thinking a lot about that. You can fucking trust me. I'm grinding. Yeah, I'm really
Yes.
thinking about options for that. And it's quite limited because if people don't put their heads together and find a solution with me, then nothing will happen.
Right, right. There's a few
Yes.
other
Well-
ideas, but I don't think we can go on them on stream. We'll talk about them
Yeah.
after.
Yeah,
after
sure,
the stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here.
yes, we'll brainstorm on that because I
Yeah.
want it to happen.
Yeah, I think it's well worth it, especially like, you know, we're basically making the neighborhood bigger is what we're talking about here. And I really
Yeah.
love that aspect of the magazine and what we're talking about here. And I think, like, for example, what we've been trying to do with the Anvil and everything, I think it's definitely all in line, and it's all on the same page. So yeah, we're totally behind you guys. That's really cool. On that vein, so people
What's
talk
next?
to you for that stuff. Are you spearheading the whole thing, Spiridon, or do you also have other people who are kind of like the troops?
Yeah, let me think. No, I'm pretty much spearheading this. I brought Christian Kihaya on board now for the podcast. Sickbrush, you might know him from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And he's doing he's I mean we're obviously like really good friends. I mean when you see us at some event, we are usually just cuddling all the time.
Aw.
And
That's kind of like Justin and I.
what?
Yes. Does he have a beard also?
What I like about him is that he's like the archetype of a teacher, and how someone who has the knowledge about the industry can actually give it to people, give them feedback. I mean, he was with me at the IMAC festival thing in Paris, and he gave 60 portfolio reviews, and he was a guest.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So the thing is, I wanted him to be part of this because he already has a lot of experience about the community and about interviewing and streaming with people, and I want him to do this again, but I want him to do this for us, like for the Firestarter thing.
Right.
So besides him and the guys who are writing the articles, like Diego Gisbert Laurent and Veronica Sofia Nito, and the guest writers, and also, for example, there is Jörg van Welbergen, who did the Firestarter talk at the Playgrounds Festival. We did a live stream.
Cool.
This is also something that I wanted to be a thing, like a panel where people actually sit together there. And we had Pablo Carpio and Mike Azevedo, Chris Rosewarne, and Jan Urschel, and Gilles Ketting, who did this amazing cover here. It's just a network of people, and everybody's contributing something. But if you would be like, who's spearheading it? Yeah, I pretty much am the person. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, I wished I had more help with that, but I'm also very much a control freak. I'm very German in that regard. I want everything to happen in time. I will nag people 24 hours a day when they don't give me whatever I want. I would be a horrible boss. Like really. I expect from everybody to do this, put the same effort in everything that I do, and I don't care if they have a life. But I always say sorry in the end. So,
right.
okay.
Okay.
Once it's done and once it's delivered, okay, like, hey, by the way, how much of that comes from working in the print industry? I'm just curious.
Because
Because I mean, print
It's
industry,
what came
everything's like
first? What came first? The attitude that made into the print industry, or the print industry made the attitude?
I don't know. If it's the print industry or if it's maybe something that it's a cultural thing, because my father came from Greece to Germany and always admired these German values, which is a total cliche, but still he did it like being punctual. Always try to be punctual because it's a sign of respect. And he raised me with this, so this always has been a part of me, and I'm totally anal about it to a point where it's really annoying. But Marco Pripic from the IFCC festival, he gave me a boost of confidence when he told me, you're annoying, he said, but it's the only way to get shit done.
Yes, yeah. I guess as long as you do it with a smile.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see it. He wrote it on Facebook. He might have been like, I don't know.
Oh shit.
Let's see. Someone says, I think it's a good quality. Jan saying, it's a good quality to have. I know without a healthy dose of nagging, chances are higher that I might miss a deadline. Ooh, Jan. All right. Also, can people get back issues aside from the digital one? Can people get do you still have some left from the first two, or?
Oh, right. Or
the first one is gone because it was just 400 issues. That's also a sign of
collector's item.
Yeah, I thought about maybe printing some new ones of the first one, but actually, it's a PDF. Who am I tricking to anything? I would have to pay for this myself.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not really doing it either.
So maybe down the line, that might be an option for somebody. You're up to issue, 67, and someone just finds out about Firestarter, and they're like, "Oh shoot, I want some back issues."
You will always be able to download it.
Right. Okay. Very good.
Yeah, it's not gone. It's just the hard copies are an issue because you pay for storage. Yeah, and if I have to reprint it, I would actually have to charge people, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
So I'm keeping a few of these for myself, like 100 or 200, and people can order them if they didn't go to the festivals. But the point of the whole thing is either you read it online because you're a computer person anyway, and you don't go to festivals, or you go to the festivals and actually get a hard copy.
Yeah.
So either you're that kind of person or you're that kind of person.
Right.
I'm
a few in between, you can order it.
Yeah, I swing.
I was gonna say, what if you live out in the middle of the woods and you're more about sitting by the fireplace with a physical copy of something? Then you get in touch with Spiridon and you order a physical copy.
Like I said, you can order them. I have a few left, but it's not like everybody is like, "Oh, give me them back," and everybody's ordering it and they throw your money at my face or whatever. No, nobody's really doing that at this point. If it gets to that,
they're going to be.
They're going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, look at even Imagine Effects. When Imagine Effects, I think, first started out, it was very, very small, and I think by the time they got to issue 10 or 11, I think that's when it really started blowing up. So yeah, who knows? Just gotta keep going forward, I think. So in regards to the whole, getting really being in touch with the community and getting people involved and all of that, are there any thoughts about activities with the community, like contests or any kind of prompts or anything like that?
Yes, we're working on a very big contest at this point.
Awesome.
With another company. I like to work with people who care, and these people are people who really care, and I'm not sure how much I can talk about it at this point, but there will be an announcement and you will know what I was talking about at some point.
Awesome. Yeah, so go join the Facebook group for Firestarter, go subscribe to the digital stuff. Where else are you guys out on Twitter yet? And all that stuff?
Yeah, we are on Twitter.
Yeah, I know you guys are on Instagram.
Platforms.
So everything.
Twitter, it's Instagram. I use the platforms for several kinds of stuff. Facebook is mostly for discussions. Twitter is to put on links because Facebook hates links.
Right.
Then I have Instagram for an art dump because that's pretty much the only place where I'm dumping art. But it's always about maybe building it up and getting more followers, like many followers, which will also be something what people profit from when I put their artwork there. But mostly I want to use Instagram for people to take it over when they go to an event. For example, if there was this thing in Paris, and Pauline Voss took over the Instagram account and was documenting it.
Fantastic.
Then I gave the Instagram account to one in Taiwan where the League meetup was, and they took care of that thing. And I will do this if I can with every event that is presented in this magazine. So
it's kind of like your. I was gonna say it's kind of like your underground reporters at those places.
Yeah, it's Instagram. Like a reporter thing. Exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What were you gonna say?
So
what were you gonna say? You're also going to. I interrupted you.
I don't know. It's basically what with Instagram. What's happening? It's I will use it mostly for these things, dumping art and giving people the chance to see an event from the perspective of one person.
That's cool. I want to be a Firestarter reporter.
Me too.
Which events are you going to?
You actually have to leave the house, Justin.
Yeah. Oh.
No, what events are you
I
going
don't care
to?
for your birthday party. No. Nobody cares for your birthday party.
No, I mean, like, in New York, there's a couple, and then there's always the EluxCon. Did I just make my computer go to sleep?
I don't want to be elitary, but the events that I'm covering are these that actually make the effort and contact me or talk with me and be part of the whole thing. So if there is an event, for example, that wants to profit in some way from exposure, which I hope at some point will be significant, and it already has become significant, but not like I don't have like 1 million followers or whatever. But you have to actually be part of the entire community to make this happen. You can't just jump in with one foot and then be out of it again.
Yes, absolutely.
So there's a couple of questions in the chat. Speaking of these events, well, actually, no. One of them is in regards to what we were talking about earlier. Is print on demand for back issues? Would that be an option at some point?
I don't know.
Okay.
Never thought about it.
And they're also someone's asking. Andres Soleil is asking, will there be a hard copy at Trojan Horse's Unicorn?
No.
No. Okay. And that's it. And then lots of hearts. We're getting lots of hearts from people.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
The magazine will be there are 2 seasons. There's one from January to July, basically to June, because in July there is no event, I think, at this point. So it's like the break, and then from August to December. So in the first season, the magazine will be at 5 events, and at the second one it will be 8 or 9. And they are mostly the European events at this point. I'm trying to figure out how to ship stuff to Russia because it's a bit hard to do that because they want some papers and stuff. But I believe that this pretty much covers most of them. It's hard to get stuff to Taiwan and, of course, to Mexico. Like I told you, it's really expensive to get everything there, and it's a hassle. But I'm already getting help with shipping with my distributor, who does a great work. And as soon as I have the means and the money to do more, I'm always happy to do more. But I love to do this, and I hope that I can do it more and I can do it better at some point and put more effort in it. But I also have client stuff to do to actually pay the bills. And Firestarter at this point, like I told you, the money goes all into the printed copies.
Yeah, it's all for the community. That's great. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you asked this earlier, Justin, but is there what inspired the name? Is there any significance to the name, or?
We didn't get to that. No.
Oh, it was first. I wanted to call this thing Fireplace, and then Marco Prepic, who I was talking with because of the first issue came out for the IFCC. He told me that I could do interviews with the people who organized them, and they would be called Firestarters. And I was like, wait, that name is actually better than Fireplace. So I called it Firestarter.
That's cool. That's
That's
actually what we
great.
opened the stream with, was the Firestarter Empyrean remix of from Prodigy, which I'm sure you guys get that joke all the time.
Yeah, we do.
Not a bad thing. It's
Actually, we
fucking
looked into
memorable.
how much it would cost to get like 5 seconds from the track to to
Yeah.
launch the stream with it. But
Uh, uh. So what's the are there plans to do a convention for Firestarter at some point?
I like to help and be part of the conventions, but to make it only a Firestarter thing at this point, there is none.
Okay.
Well, that kind of like is a little more specific question of what we were thinking about before, like, and you kind of touched on a little bit earlier, but like the any sort of like future plans beyond like a magazine. Like, is Firestarter going to branch out and do other things? How do you see that happening, if at all?
I don't know yet.
Can you divulge anything, or is that still top secret?
It's
Like a movie?
because it's really easy to construct something in your head and make it really big, and
Yeah.
then you go there and realize it doesn't work for whatever reason. It's really hard to just point into some direction and be like, yeah, I want to be that big. Because that's stupid as it might sound, because everybody wants to be big. I don't want this to be too big, because if it's too big, it gets too corporate.
Yeah.
I like to do it, to keep it that way, that I'm doing it and having people who help me. I like to get to a point where I can pay them for their work, so the quality of the product enhances, and also I can concentrate more on it. But from now, I would say we have the magazine, we have the homepage, and we have some plans to make people interact more, write more comments, and talk to each other. And I also want to implement on the page a place where people can post pictures from the events and be more social with each other without becoming a social media. And at some point, an app might be something that could be developed. But as far as I know, this is a pain in the ass, because you constantly have to update everything.
Yeah.
So they don't make it really easy for someone like me to have something where I'm like, yeah, I'm having one budget, I'm doing this, and from then on it's there. It will be something that is constantly taking money. So and we have, like I said, we have the podcast, the magazine, and the website, and I'm trying to put this Firestarter talk, this panel thing, to make this something that is happening on more events. But besides that, everything is just in my mind, not really.
Yeah. But what's cool is, I mean, due to the grassroots nature of the magazine, like once you start putting those ideas out in the community, I think you'll start getting people coming to you saying, "Hey, I could help with that. I know how to build apps."
I'm already putting ideas out there, and it's already really cool how many people react on it. But it's not many people who say, "Yeah, I can do that." Because of course it's time. Right. I wouldn't ask anyone to put time into something that doesn't really pay out for them literally.
Right.
So at this point, it's more like asking people I know to help me than it's to do something for the community, which I hope is changing at some point. But this changes with the reach. As the more people. I don't want to make Firestarter a movement.
Right.
But if you characterize it, it's what I need. I need this to be a movement, so everybody knows about it. Because only if everybody knows about it, everybody can help.
Yeah, I think most people that I've talked to about it, I mean, it's something that's wanted. It's something that's desired in the community, and I think just by that nature alone, I think it'll become a movement of itself, like for its own sake. And I think that's really exciting. That's really exciting.
Which is kind of sucky, because it always involves a hype, and I want a hype. It gets dangerous at some point.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Then often with hype, it fizzles out just as quickly, rather than like a nice slow burn. If we can.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, but the problem with the hype is when the hype is over, people don't care about it anymore because they just remember that peak.
What's the next thing?
I don't want to. This is why I'm calling this a community magazine, because I don't want to give it a name. I want it to be for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Take it away from like buzzwords and things like that being classified and cornered into things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I think what I'll do is, it's really good that we had this talk. What I'm going to be doing is, as I talk to people about the magazine and as it gets passed around and things like that, I think that's going to be really emphasized as a community magazine, kind of like the neighborhood mentality to it. And I think in terms of people contributing to the magazine and all of that, it's going to be very much in that vein as well. It's like, this is your community magazine. What do you want to see in it? Now, with that in mind, what's the best way to get in touch with you, Spiridon?
Yeah. Seriously? I mean...
Yeah, just for the sake of the people watching. I know how to get in touch with you.
No, I'm wondering about that question, because mostly when people meet me somewhere, I'll like, hey, you're the funny guy from Facebook. So, I mean, the easiest way to contact me is, of course, through Facebook or through an email. It is on the you already shared the Firestarter homepage. There's a contact formula. The form back there, you can fill it out. You can also write me to info@firestartermagazine.com. You can please give me a hug at any event where you find me, and you can talk to me if you have anything to share with the community, and if you think that it has value. Not you have value, but if you have something to tell me that has value for everybody, you think everybody should know about this, and this might change actually someone's life into something better or make something easier, then make the effort. Because like Max Berman told me at the right moment, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right. Right.
So people, get up from your asses, meet people, talk to people, and if you don't complain.
Yeah, that's great. The Mandy wants to know if you also set messenger ravens.
Yes, I do, but I eat them afterwards.
Yeah, but there's also the whole thing, like, if you get too many messenger ravens, you end up the risk of having too much bird poop on your windowsill too, though. That could be a problem.
Yes.
And the cost of the magazines will just go even higher, because then you gotta scrape all that out. Cool. Anything else that you want anybody watching to know about where it's going, or what you're looking for, or anything like that?
I'm looking for people who want to contribute to this magazine in any way. Right. That's all I can say. If you are an artist, if you are an author, if you are a studio, if you have a studio, if you know a studio and think they might want to get involved with this, if you know someone with cash to put it into the map, to make it something that actually works for the community, because sadly nothing works without cash.
Yeah.
Then please contact me. It is really hard to talk with everybody on this planet.
Yes, but this is a way to at least talk to everybody in the community. At least there's that. Matt says you're so damn metal, and Mandy says you've earned yourself a fan. Yeah, the shirt. I love the shirt.
Yeah. Well, Spiridon, like, goes without saying, what you're doing is a fantastic idea, and I think, like what Sal had mentioned, it just seems that right now it's very fitting to what give you feel the vibe of social media. It seems very fitting for right now.
Yeah.
Like, just with how like algorithms have messed everything up, it kind of like put people away more than bring them together. So people listen to me when I talk here, right?
What's that?
Sorry?
People. How many people are watching this now?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I know on Twitch we have... It's time for a shout-out.
Is it an uncomfortable question?
No. Andres Soleil, Artavinka, Bjorn's watching, Blowing Go, Electrical Skateboard, Matt Kaminsky, Jan, and...
Don't give up on Facebook, is what I wanted to say. Don't give up on Facebook. I know it's hard. Change the way you use it. Every social media has a different way how you can use it now.
Right.
So if you want to get out links, use Twitter. If you want to have a discussion and have a critique maybe for your artwork, if you even want to use your artwork, it's okay. Use Instagram and Facebook, whatever you do. But what you shouldn't do on Facebook is don't post any links in there, because then nobody will see your stuff. Put them in the first comment. Be a good kid. Listen to the uncle. He knows what he's talking about.
Yep, there you go. That's actually really, really good advice. And also, I think
comment. Always
groups,
comment.
Yeah, comment, like and comment, and shares also help, right?
Yeah, but even comment is even better.
Really?
Because it's very interesting because just as an anecdote, I had this post and I had a link in it, and there was the same thing that someone else did. Like I think it even was Evan. Oh no, he had a link in a post and I didn't. And his I actually had a post that was more successful than the one of Evan.
Wow.
Yeah. So at some point,
right.
so which is quite weird, but it shows the impact that these things have. If you comment, people on Facebook will see that you commented on something. It pops up there. It doesn't really have to be something that has to be shared. Of course, sharing helps, but commenting seems to be much more important. And keep out the links of the post and post images, post videos, ask questions, get involved, increase the quality of everybody's feed, make it fucking happen.
Value, yeah. Bringing value is definitely something that Sal and I have been kicking around for quite a while. And it's actually what started off the whole Anvil group.
Right.
Was trying to bring something of value to people other than just like something to look at.
Yeah.
And having value around ourselves as well. Part of it was exactly like you're saying, Spiridon, is changing the quality of our feeds. All of that stuff. The Mandy's saying the art dad, the art bro, and the art uncle are all on one screen.
Art uncle.
Yeah, so you've earned the title of our uncle. Justin's been known as the art dad in our circles for a little while now, and
okay.
So it's a title of honor.
All right, art uncle.
Art uncle. Uncle Spiridon. There you go. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for watching. Is there anything else? Anything else before we sign off?
Any last words of wisdom?
No.
Yeah.
What would you recommend for beard care?
Oh yeah, the beard. We gotta talk about the beard care.
Beard care is very important. The most important thing is don't shave.
There you go.
Right. But what do you do to keep it so silky smooth? Cocoa butter,
just oil.
Yeah. There you go, folks.
This hemp oil thing.
Nice.
But
hemp oil. There you go, people.
I use
it's called argan oil. It's some Indian stuff that women too put into their hair. But I'm using it for the beard because it just smells amazing.
Yep. So now you know, Mandy. Beard oil and wax. You can get started. Oh, and don't shave.
No, I don't use wax.
Don't shave. No wax. Just
no
the
wax.
Oil.
Okay, just the oil.
Yeah.
Andre says thanks for streaming. Andre, you're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I really hope you got a lot out of it and you guys have better insights as to what Firestarter is. Get involved, get in touch with Spirit Uncle, stalk him on Facebook, go join the group, do all of that.
And spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yes.
Yeah, spread the word. If this is the thing that you guys want, then you guys have to put the effort into making it happen. You can't just let Art Uncle here just do all of the work on his own.
As we say in the Anvil, you get in what you get out what you put in.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
And Matt wants you to know that you're awesome for this project, Spiridon. So
thank you very much, man.
He says that. So yeah, we're gonna abruptly cut off the stream and make you guys look at some artwork, and and we're signing off. Thank you for tuning in, you guys.
Thanks for having me, guys.